Hey everyone, it is week 7 of my weight loss journey, my final weight loss journey. I've tried to lose weight many times. I've tried Weight Watchers and Atkins and counting calories and portion control and all that kind of thing. But I'm doing really well. I'm eating whole foods and enjoying it, being very satisfied, and I did skip one workout this week. I was just feeling really down and I just wanted to rest and just get some solitude. And I really feel like that was really helpful for me. I think there was some things that I needed to let go of, and maybe I'll be talking about that sometime. I don't know. But today I'm going to be talking about triggers. About 5 years ago, I went on a family Florida trip, and in the condo, they had all these mirrors in this condo. It was like beautiful. I mean, it was gorgeous. It was in Navarre, Florida, and I couldn't get away from these mirrors. It was just like I was looking at myself, and it was just like I could not believe like how like big I had gotten. And I managed to go out in the beach and everything, and it was really hard to get back out of the ocean. And like, I'm sorry, I just, it's just looking back at it, it was like I had an awakening. I broke one of the beach chairs, and my dad covered for me. And I don't condone lying, but he was like, yeah, I broke it. Sorry." And so I was kind of grateful that he took the fall for me. But I remember telling my mom like how upset I was and everything, and my dad was like, "Well, why don't you do like the gastric bypass sleeve thing or the surgery?" And I was like, "No." I was like, I really feel like I need to go to the root of my emotional eating, because I know like I was an emotional eater, and I really wanted to just not take care of the symptoms, but really actually get to the root of the problem, because I really wanted to have victory over the situation and my condition. And it's something that I had a conviction about. Others may have a different way to go about it, but that's just how I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it, I guess, the hard way. I just did. And but everybody has their opinion about that. But anyway, so I ended up going home, and I'm actually a Christian. I do believe in the Bible. I don't push my beliefs on anyone, but I basically was trying to pray, and I was just like, "God, what is it? Why am I not able to lose this weight? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I?" It's like I try to count the points. At the time, I was trying to do Weight Watchers, and I was counting the points, and I was going over my points, and I would do good the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day I would do completely horrible, and I felt very out of control and very upset. It was like I was awakened for the first time to actually like my condition and how big I had allowed myself to get, and I felt very ashamed of that. And I remember one day I went outside, and my dog, for whatever reason, this isn't like her, but I kind of yelled at her, and I got upset at her, and that's not like me to do. And when I came inside, I had just finished lunch, but I went to the refrigerator, and I was trying to find something to eat, and I realized that I had gotten triggered. And because I lashed out in anger against my dog, I had gotten triggered. Now, I believe that triggers are based on self-promises. So if you've ever experienced, someone lashing out at you in anger, or feeling very rejected or lonely, isolated, or just whatever it might be, if those things, if you've experienced those things in childhood, what happens is you make a self-promise to yourself, well, I don't want to ever feel these feelings. And so whenever that feeling comes up, like anger or loneliness or rejection or whatever it might be, then you get triggered to eat to push down those feelings. And so that's just one example with my dog. is that I made a self-promise to myself that I never wanted to lash out in anger against anyone, because I know how badly it affected me. And so when I lashed out in anger, I didn't want to feel those feelings of anger, because I know I had hurt her feelings. And so I went in there and I got triggered, and I wanted to eat to suppress those emotions. And so whether it's loneliness or rejection or depression or whatever it might be, what I've learned is you've got to find other things to do. Reach out to people. Call someone. Lay in bed all day and cry if you need to. Play music. Write. Pray. Whatever you need to do. Take a ride. Get in nature. Those are some different things you can do instead of turning to food. Make yourself, like I said last week, make yourself conscious and aware of when you're eating and you are in the middle of an episode of being triggered and sitting down and eating something, when you know you're emotionally eating and you've been triggered, at least sit at the table and eat whatever you're going to eat. Remember, because I said last week about being conscious and aware of what you're actually doing. Or even take a hot bath just to get away from, take a shower, go for a walk. There's so many different things you can do. Or even sometimes write a letter to that person that you're mad at, even if you don't send it, to get you through that night, because the next day you might read it and you may not feel that way. Or it just depends on the person. But disclaimer, I know that gastric bypass isn't a quote-unquote easier way out, but I just didn't want to. I felt like at that time, I felt like it was the easier way out, and so that's why when it was introduced to me, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But anyway, so those are some things that you've really got to think about with triggers. Is pay attention to when you get triggered. Another trigger that I experienced was wanting to reward myself. Or even to the point of, like, growing up, I was always chubby, but I wasn't really like, I wasn't like obese or like quote unquote like overweight really, but in an effort for my parents to protect me from gaining more weight, they were like, hey, you can have fruit or no snack, but the other kids, could have like whatever junk food or whatever snack, because they weren't dealing with their weight and I was. And that made me feel very ostracized, because I was a very sensitive little girl anyway, for one thing, but I felt like even though I was chubby, I really wanted that too. And so I realized my most recent trigger, actually, I came to realize it about 3 months ago, which is so crazy. But I really feel like it was the last trigger that was left to be dealt with. But I realized that, like, when I would go out to eat and stuff, I would want to order like fried food and whatever everybody else was ordering instead of ordering healthy food, because, like I said, back in my childhood, I made a self-promise to myself that I wasn't ever going to be isolated or ostracized in that way. Now, my parents didn't mean it that way, but like I said, I took it that way. And even kids at school growing up, they would have the Debbie cakes and this and this and this and the Doritos or whatever it might be, and then I would have a sandwich and an apple and something else, but it wouldn't be like the other goody stuff that a kid would want, Of course, looking back at it as an adult, they were trying their best to help me and protect me. But anyway, I know this video is long, and I would encourage anyone that wants to start a weight loss journey, start now. Go ahead and start now. Don't wait till January 1st. Go ahead and start now, and come January 1st, you'll be glad you started now. Don't let life pass you by. Don't wait one more day. Do your research online. Look up things. to motivate you, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Man, this is a long video. But I hope it helps someone. Alright, take care. Bye-bye.